Today I will share with you why setting priorities is one of the best decisions you could make. Last week I had a normal conversation with my best friend. In this sake, let's call him Joe. We were in school and our class ended sooner than we have expected, so we went to a school library just to chat a bit and talk about his friends and how his friends are doing. And he mentioned what lifestyle do they have, and he was telling me that the usual day starts like waking up, immediately scrolling on Instagram, or even starting computer and playing games all day, and then they prepare for school, go to bed, and that's it. Repeating all every day, every single day. Then they asked him about my life because we know each other. They were curious about my life and they wanted to know what games do I play, and he immediately answered that I don't play any. And then they asked him, okay, what am I doing? And he had trouble explaining my lifestyle. And you probably don't know me either, like they didn't. Okay, so for those who don't know me, my name is Filip. I am a full-time software developer, also student studying computer science, also municipal council member, and the most important part of my life, I am married. I have a wife. This is this short introduction of myself, and he had trouble explaining to his friends, Joe, my friend, that what I do, because I do many things. I have many goals in my life. These few minutes of talking, of Joe talking about his friends, struck an idea into my head that, and I really was like, I really need to make this video. I really need to record this video because when I was 18 years old, I have made a decision to create a priority list. So let me introduce you what priority list is. The things that are on top, the number one priority, is something that in your life is extremely important, which cannot be neglected. It is always on your mind. You always think about it when you do activities. You prefer doing the ones that are placed better in your list. So number one priority is for me health and me. And why is that? I really think that when you are healthy, when you are doing everything you can to make yourself feeling great, then you can be the best friend, you can be the best husband, you can be the best co-worker, I don't know. But when your health is neglected, how can you expect to treat others greatly when you are treating yourself badly? So that's pretty simple to answer. The second one is family, my wife. So I will do anything for my wife. And when I'm choosing what activities am I doing, I always ask her, do you want to do it together with me? When I go outside cycling, I always ask her, do you want to go with me? Because I really want to spend time with her. That's why she's number two. And the number three is currently my work. I'm not really happy with that because I do think that work shouldn't be that high on your list. But for me, work, the software developer, as I said I am, is something that needs to be at number three now because it is my only income source, and I cannot quit my job, so I'm really dependent on it. And unfortunately, I'm not financially safe, not financially independent, so I really need to work. I really need to do my job. That's why it is on number three, and one of my goals for future is to move this down a bit. Number four is my friends, leisure activities, stuff I like to do. Pretty self-explanatory why this on number four. And the fifth, the last one, is school, which might be pretty ironic because in the beginning of this video I was talking about my friend at school, and now I'm putting school as the least thing in my priority list, but it is. Currently, I don't need to go to this school. I don't need to finish my master's degree. I already am bachelor, so I don't need it. I have a full-time job, so I don't really need to finish it, but I want to. And that is something that I want to. So it is the last one, the last priority. Of course, this list has subcategories. Of course, it can change. it varies depending on actions and stuff happening during that day. But for example, my wife asks me, do you want to watch a movie? And I have already trained, I have already done everything I wanted during that day. So why wouldn't I switch the order of the priorities? Even though I wanted to get another training session that day, why would I? I have satisfied my minimum standards for that day. I can spend time with my wife. Why wouldn't I? That's one of the examples. And now let me switch this topic more towards why I think that having priority list is more than you think. And it is great to set your priorities as soon as possible, because it is not only a list, it is not only something that you look at or you think of once per year. I think that it is something that you should use to navigate through your life, that you should look at and decide, okay, I have these tasks, I have to, I don't know, do something, clean house, whatever, and then you have this list. And you should, I think that's my opinion, I think you should prioritize those activities based on your list. So when your friend comes to you, ask you, do you want to go out for beer, for drinks night, and you've promised your wife to spend time with her, and yes, my wife is number 2 and my friends are number 4, so of course I will select my wife. But that's something which some people might not think this is a proper approach, but for me this works. For me, I can simply select activities depending on where they place on my list, and there are many more benefits. And for the most, to get the most out of this list, it is always great to have it somewhere where you can see it. So for me, I have it on my desk. I can see it every day because I spend the most amount of time during the day there. So I can look at it every day and decide, what do I want, what activities am I going to do, and why have I done it so early in my life? Because how could I know that health should be number one? And that's a great question that I ask myself, and I'm really happy that I asked myself this question, because I think that health should be the number one priority on each person living on this earth. And when you don't have yourself on number one and you have someone other, or you have work number one, this simple order of priorities can lead towards a disaster almost. Like when you neglect yourself and you don't spend time with yourself and you are not feeling happy, how can you deliver the best product in your work? How can you focus in school? How can you be a good friend when you are not a good friend with yourself? So do you have a list? If so, please write it down in the comment section. I'm really interested in reading those, and maybe others are also. And if you don't have one, I do suggest you to create one immediately, almost. Yes, it is my opinion, but it worked for me, and I do think that it will work for you and it will impact your life positively. It is simple. Take a piece of paper, write down 1 to 5 order of numbers, and set number 1 priority, number 2, number 3. And keep in mind, it is not as simple as it sounds like, because you need to really think about it. You really need to think that this is a list I'm going to use to navigate through my life. I'm going to use it as a guide. So you have to be satisfied. You have to feel like this is my list, that it is something that you have written, that not ChatGPT have created for you. You never know how your priorities will change during life. For example, my work is number 3 because right now I don't have a place to live. I'm living in my parents' house and I want to move to my place. I want to build a house, so once my house is built, probably the order might change a bit. You never know what happens, and let's see what the future brings.